It's time to take a look inside ECSU Mighty Vikings football. Welcome to Viking Coaches Show with Marcus Hilliard on WRVS 89.9.
Yes, Viking fans, it's time for Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9, and I am always happy to be here with the head coach of ECSU Mighty Vikings football, Marcus Hilliard. Coach Hilliard, a homecoming, an exciting time, and I looked on campus Monday morning, and looks like everybody's intact. So how was your homecoming overall outside of the game? I know you caught up with a few of your classmates and teammates, and tell me a little bit about your homecoming experience.
Yeah, just seeing some of my old players that played here and some of the guys I played with here, man. It was refreshing just seeing, like we were talking earlier, those guys actually looked out for the team and provided meals for the team after the game, man. So it's always a great time to just see your folks here that you went to school with. Mm-hmm. A lot of laughs, a lot of good times, a lot of remembering what or back then what happened. So it was always, it's always a good time to see your friends, definitely.
When you reminisce a little bit about the past, how much have times changed? Not only on the football field, but even just the campus. I mean, obviously it's growing.
Well, the first thing, the guys say, man, where's Walmart? Like, why are there cars there? And I'm like, bro, there's no more. Where's Mitchell Lewis? Where's the complex?
Where's the complex?
And we're officially old. You start having those conversations, man. You're an old head. Like, there's no more. The campus is a lot different. We got new buildings up everywhere. So you get a lot of those things. Like, where is everything, man? So just hearing everybody talk about that, I laugh about it because I'm seeing the changes and just seeing everything that's going on. And we got a great, beautiful campus, man. It's wonderful, but just seeing the changes, the guys, it's different for everybody.
Yeah, the old heads. I don't like using that wording, but we got a few young heads with us today. We got some special guests that'll be a part of today's show, and obviously the Vikings coming off of a tough loss against Lincoln this past Saturday. We'll break that game down just a little bit, and we'll preview Saturday's matchup at Roebuck Stadium. But first, let's go on back to Saturday and talk about the big homecoming crowd that was here for the Vikings matchup against the Lions. And again, just that homecoming feel, Coach, when you come out of that football, when you come out of that helmet and everybody runs out into the field, just talk about that atmosphere, how that felt, not only for you, but really how the team felt going into that game. Just
a great atmosphere, seeing all the people that came back for homecoming. I mean, it's a different feel. We talked about it last week. Just homecoming is just different. And first you pull up, you're smelling the grills, you're smelling everything, you're seeing the tents. It's like, man, this is like a festival. The game is just what it is, but the people are here to come see this play. So we were definitely excited about that. On our end, nothing really changed for us. We were able to take the players off campus so they could be focused, the night before, just so they don't get caught in the activities. I know we talked about it last week, where they're not able to, actually be a part of the activity to after the game. So that felt good. But coming up and seeing everybody, man, it's a wonderful experience. It's always great to be home. You definitely want to be home. A lot of things that you have to do to prepare to be on the road. When you're home, you don't have to worry about those things. So for us, it was just, grateful to be at home and to see the home crowd. And, of course, homecoming just made it more special.
Regardless of all of that, you had a feeling that this was going to be a tight game between these two teams.
Yeah, Lincoln is always a scrappy team. They do a lot of good things. And, like I said, they kind of remind me of kind of who we are, just how scrappy we are. Mm-hmm. And I knew just coming into the game, they want to play the spoiler role. Yeah. They want to play because actually just we played them for their homecoming last year. Mm-hmm. And we were up 14-0, and we kind of see how that game went. So they wanted to kind of repay that from us, and a lot of guys were talking. Even they got here early too. Mm-hmm. It was earlier. They got here like right at 10. We didn't report till 10:30. You usually want to go or get there before, about 2.5 hours before a game. So they were so early. So I knew that they were focused. They were ready, and they're just a scrappy team.
Yeah, you spoke a little bit about this. I want to go back into it as far as the preparation for a homecoming game. And there's so much as far as the crowd in the stands and just all of the events that are happening, walking around. It's just a festive, like you talked about, in a full stadium. Speak a little bit more how you prepare the team, because there's a lot of the players who are on the team that may have never seen an atmosphere like this, not only at ECSU, but maybe in their careers, and it was just a fine crowd on hand Saturday.
Yeah, that was the message for the whole week, man. Just stay focused. I told them it's going to be a lot of fanfare, a lot of people that you've never seen before, a lot of people that played or, that want to talk to you or whatever, and it's cool. But understand why everybody is here. And for us, the preparation was the same. I think differently. What we did differently, of course, was take the guys. We said off campus because we just didn't want that to play a part into us not performing at our best. So we were able to do that. We even kind of, for this game, we had a early morning walkthrough. That's something where we hadn't done before our team meeting before. So just kind of give us something where we know the guys are locked in. But preparation-wise, from a coaching standpoint, is what it is. Just practice the situations that we think could arise in the game or something that, we don't know. Even looking at the game, some of the NFL games yesterday, just that whole Hail Mary situation. I know this week that's something that I want to make sure that don't happen to us, or just looking at those situations, man. And so from a preparation standpoint, just making sure we cover the bases with everything. Yeah. And that was the focus for this week.
Interesting, during that first quarter, it was almost similar to the two previous games where the Vikings just got off to that slow start, and Lincoln's offensive game plan was working. Almost every play of that first drive was a run until it was a pass, and it was that touchdown pass that they threw to get on the board first. Their quarterback, Isaiah Freeman, he went 44 yards for another touchdown run later in the game. The Vikings trailed 0-14 at the end of the first. They will finish the game with 252 rushing total yards and above their season average, obviously, at that point. How surprised were you with their offensive game plan and just how successful they were running the ball?
I wasn't surprised. If you looked at some of the games, if you look at the Livingstone game, they were able to get some rushing yards on us, and it's just some of the things that they were able to do. I think Lincoln took a page out of that playbook, and they saw kind of what Virginia State did to us. And, like I say, we never try to make excuses. And, of course, we have some injuries that have kind of hindered what we really want to do. But, I wasn't surprised. I think that was a great game plan that Lincoln had came out with. Like, let's just run the ball and try to establish the run game. And they were able to do that. And, it kind of caught us by surprise a little bit, but we were able to get some footing there, get a couple stops or whatever. But I wasn't surprised by what they tried to do. That was a good game plan. Come in and run the ball. They knew we kind of had some guys down from an injury standpoint, and we're not where we want to be. So, credit to Coach for coming out with that, man. I think that was a good game plan for them.
Yeah, and speaking of the Vikings, things started to pick up for us in that second quarter. Quarterback Chase Williams found Elijah Starkey 19-yard touchdown pass, then he would find Terrence Holland a little bit later. 13-14 would be the score. Speak on what changed for ECSU from the first quarter to the second quarter.
We just made some plays. So guys stepped up. We were able to move the ball. I think Chase, he made a couple good scrambles, and he did some things to extend some plays, and we got some first downs, and we were able to put it together. And that's one thing, like you say, we talk about preparation. One thing we practice every week is red zone play, and we do that religiously. And to see us get into the red zone and score on plays that we actually practice, it just makes you feel like, okay, we're doing the right things. We just got to continue to do them, and just seeing us be able to move the ball and score on those plays, man, it just gave us some insight. I don't know if in the first quarter with homecoming kind of, just all the hoopla of homecoming kind of got to us, but in the second quarter we were able to settle down and kind of do what we do. So just proud of the guys for that.
Me and the broadcast crew were talking about it at the end of the first quarter. With the way that the first quarter went, it was very important for the Vikings to come back, punched them in the mouth in the second quarter. That's exactly what you did. Did you notice the momentum switch in that second quarter? Once that took place, it just seemed like the energy just went through the entire crowd.
Yeah, we were able to get some stops defensively, and now we score, and then we come back and we get another score. So in our mindset, it's like, okay, we got to grasp the momentum, and that's what we talked about as a staff, just being able to convert or get those scores right off a turnover, or take the momentum of the game. And that's something that we hadn't done consistently all season. So you start to kind of see that change in that game, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah. Chase seemed like he was having a good time out there at that quarterback position. Finished the game 14 of 27, 2 TDs, no INTs. The decision, obviously, to have Chase in there at that quarterback position. Just speak about his performance overall throughout the game.
I thought he played well. Of course, like we talked about last week, Tracey was a little banged up or whatever. So, Chase had a hot hand, man. I thought he came in. He made some great decisions. Still a couple throws out there that he would like to get back.
Sure,
he would say that himself. But I thought he came in and he did a great job of managing the game and putting us in a position to win the game. So grateful for what he did, and just glad he's got confidence now, to kind of let's make it a battle now between the quarterbacks and see who's going to be the starter. So just happy for him and how everything is working in his favor.
13-14 is your score going into the locker room. Your thoughts on the first half overall and your message to the team in the locker room?
Just got to execute. I wanted to, for us defensively to be able to stop the run, because that's something I know they came out on, and we knew we would get the ball in the second half. We get the ball first, and just told the offense we got to go out and score. We score, we'll win the game, and that was the feeling from the coaching staff, and that's what we relayed to the team. Let's score, let's go win this game, have a great homecoming.
Yeah. Defensively, it seemed like the team just started to wrap those players up. The running game was slowed down a little bit in that second half, and ECSU would respond at the 9-minute mark. Zachariah Adams-Duxon finished off a 13-play drive with a touchdown run. 20-14 lead. Good runs during that drive helped you move the chain several times. Speak a little bit about, again, jumping out there in that third quarter, making something happen. 20-14 had to feel pretty good the way this game was going.
Yeah, I think that was the first time after the half that we were able to actually get a score. That's big for us. The small things, I always say, the small wins. So that was something for us. We were able to punch it in right after halftime, and that is a momentum booster, to get that momentum, and now you put it back and say, hey, let's close it out. Let's close it out. We had the lead at that point and felt great about the game, and knew that, we were playing well, and let's just close it out.
Yeah, Duxon was running the ball a little bit more for you. We kind of saw that ground game starting to pick up for him. It just seems like it's getting ready to start clicking for him where he wants it to be. Obviously, he would have liked to have done this earlier in the season, but regardless, he seemed to have a pretty good game. Speak about his performance and kind of what you're seeing as the season kind of winds down here, how he's going right now.
Yeah, you're starting to see him coming back into his all-conference form. Just some of the runs and some of the finishes that he had on Saturday. I started to see the old him, just finishing. I think right there we had a key third down or maybe a fourth down, and he was able to push through and get that first down for us. So you're starting to see him come back to form, and it's great for us just to see him get the touches and get back to himself.
Lincoln would return the favor on a touchdown run from their running back, Nasir Oglesby, to make the score 20-21. Only down one heading into the fourth quarter. You have the ball at the end of the third going into the fourth quarter. Still a lot of game to go. Your thoughts heading into that final quarter?
I felt like we were going to win the game. Yeah. We gave it back to the offense. I felt like we were going to be able to win. And that's why I told the team, we got to go out here and take the game. Yep. Let's look at the score, take the victory. And that's what we told them. I'm going into the fourth quarter. Let's take the game, and I felt great about it.
Yeah, we did too. Up in the booth going into that fourth quarter, I felt like especially if we could get a score here, I just felt like it would hang in there through the rest of this game. So that's kind of what we were thinking. ECSU obviously would get the ball back after an interception by Charles Carter. We were able to move the ball down to the Lincoln 29 on that drive, but it was an incomplete pass that stalled that drive out. The tough part about that is only about 4 minutes left to play after that, and you just wish you had more time. But the way that the time of possession was going, you just didn't feel great about it, giving the ball back to Lincoln at that moment. I just felt like we couldn't give the ball back to him. But speak a little bit about that drive specifically and kind of what went wrong there at the end for us.
Yeah, so we were on the 29 because, a lot of people ask, why didn't we just kick the field goal? Well, that's a little bit out of our kicker's range, and when we practice, again, there's a situation we practice. We practice pressure kicks at the end of practice. He's right there, 30 to 40-yard threshold. That would have been a 47-yard kick, and that's tough for any college kicker. So, we decided to go for it, and in my brain just thinking like, well, we got 3 timeouts. I know they want to run the ball. If we could get a stop, I'll stop the clock to give our offense enough time to be able to move the ball ahead of the 2-minute warning because you also get a timeout for that. So that was the thinking. That was the strategy. Let's go for it. If we get it, we're good. If not, we'll get the stop. We'll get a 3 and out. I'll call the timeouts. We'll get the ball back and let's do it. So that was the strategy going into that entire situation. I know it was under 4 minutes, but we had 3 timeouts at that time, so we had plenty of time to kind of make it work.
Yeah, you did your best to use those timeouts as well as you could, trying to make that time stretch as much as you possibly could, but obviously time just didn't go the way we wanted it to. 20-21, final score, a difficult one to swallow, obviously. Overall thoughts on Saturday's game, and as you look into the game, some positives that you can take out of it as we get ready for Saturday's game.
Yeah, it was a tough one, man. I felt like the John C. Smith game last year, same score.
Wow.
It's the same deal. It's tough, and especially being homecoming. You have all the fans and everybody's coming back to see, and you weigh it weighs heavily on you, But some of the positives, like I said, offensively, we were able to get some scores in the red zone. That's something that we hadn't done. That's something we weren't able to do against Virginia Union and Virginia State. So now we get here and we're able to get some scores in the red zone. So that's some positives. And I think from the stats, man, I think we had 7 receivers get at least a reception. So we're spreading the ball around.
Yeah.
Guys are making plays.
Making big plays.
Guys are making plays. So just thankful for that. And we got a lot of freshmen, true freshmen that are playing. They're getting significant snaps, man. So just seeing them develop. Sometimes experience is the best teacher. Yeah. And they really getting taught. So just seeing that now they have that game experience and, they know what not to do. And so those are some of the positives. But at the end of the day, you always want to win the game. And that's what we compete and practice for. And just weren't able to get it done. And for this Saturday, we go back to the drawing board. And like I told the kids, man, just finish. And let's send the seniors out on a good note. We haven't beaten Bowie in a long, long time here. So let's get prepared for them and getting them ready and send those guys out on a good note.
Yeah, another one that feels like it got away from us, but that's okay because we got a game on Saturday that we have to get prepared for. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we have a couple of special guests. Coach will introduce them coming up next here on Viking Coaches Show exclusively on WRVS 89.9.
Do you have a question or comment for Coach Hilliard? Call into the show, 855-899-WRVS.
You're ready to become a scholar. It's time for you to earn your bachelor's or master's degree. At Elizabeth City State University, we're proud of our strong academic programs. We offer 28 bachelor degrees and 4 master's degrees. ECSU also offers flexible online courses to help you achieve your goals. Start the process today. Call 800-347-3278 or find us online at ecsu.edu.
From the football field to the radio, this is Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Welcome back to Viking Coaches Show here on WRVS 89.9. Yours truly, Clay Mercer, here with ECSU football head coach Marcus Hilliard. Coach, I love when you bring some special guests to the show. And now is the time that we speak to some of the student athletes that make things happen out there on the field. Go ahead and introduce the guests that we have here today.
Yeah, man. So I got my guys in here. Got Shai Wheeler, our wide receiver, man, senior wide receivers. Want to bring it's senior week, and senior day will be on Saturday for us. So wanted to give these guys a chance for the people to get to know him. So I got Shai Wheeler, wide receiver. Also got, I know they know Tracey White. He's been with me for media day. He's been here, but senior linebacker, man. Just wanted to get these guys on so people could just know who they are outside of football.
Like
they're guys outside of football, and they kind of see kind of what I have to endure every week, man. So I want to bring these guys on just so they could just talk to the people, man.
What I have to endure every week, fellas. I don't know if that was a positive or a negative, but we're going to roll right into it. Thank both of you all for joining us here on today's show. Tracey, I want to start with you, coming from Landover, Maryland. I spent a little bit of time over there in Maryland working up at radio stations there. Speak a little bit about your hometown and how it has impacted you to become the man that you are today.
Where I'm from, it's hard, I would say. Growing up, my parents always had me in a great atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, but the stuff you do see, you try to stay away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I was just more into football, basketball, baseball, a little here and there. So more into sports like that. So that's more so where I'm from. But also, you do got the light side of it, as far as it's a lot of places to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can go anywhere you want to go from Maryland. It's just a great place to be.
It's almost like one of those places where if you can make it out of here, you can make it anywhere. Is that kind of how it feels? Outstanding. So, again, your career here at ECSU, speak a little bit about some of the bright moments that come to your mind, some of the big games that you just kind of remember and was like, yeah, I did my thing in that one.
I would like to think I do my thing in every game I play. For sure. But the one I can never forget, home game against Bowie, my first year here in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Just playing against my hometown, playing against people I played against in high school, played with. So I don't remember how many tackles I had that game, but I know I did some that game. But that's the game that really just stand out to me.
Mr. Wheeler, we're going to bring it to you right now out of the Queen City. Talk a little bit about your upbringing and how it's impacted you coming out of Charlotte.
I want to say, coming out of Charlotte, is coming from Charlotte to Elizabeth City, coming from the city to the country. It really just slowed down for me.
Yeah.
You feel me? Charlotte, to me, it was very fast-paced, a lot of things to do. A lot of distraction out there, but coming to Elizabeth City, it really got me. It really got me focused on what I can do here.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? No distractions for me here. It's really just me focused on schoolwork, football, and just getting out with a degree.
The wide receivers on this team, y'all make some outstanding catches. Y'all make us jump up there in the booth. Certain catches y'all make, it's almost like you have glue on your hands. I want to bring it to you and think about, since your career here, what are some of the special moments that you have had on the field? Is there anything that kind of stands out?
Stands out. Okay. Let's see. What can it's just getting before I get to the punt.
Well, okay.
Before I get to the punt, it's just making key plays on third down. That's really I feel like that's my thing.
Yeah.
Making key plays on third down, making them big catches when we need them.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, when I'm blocking punts, blocking field goals, that's another thing I love to do. I just love getting after it. I remember my first time touching the field my freshman year. I blocked a punt for a touchdown to win us the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment right there, it was exciting. I was in the newspaper. I was excited. So my mom, my parents, I was just excited that moment.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Speaking of your parents, I want you to go ahead and show some love to your family. Give them a shout out because I'm sure they're listening right now. Just give them a little bit of love because, again, they impacted you to be who you are today.
I just want to shout out to my mom, Rashika Wheeler. Thank you for all you've done for me. I know you probably at work or taking care of the kids at home. I just want to thank you for everything. And my dad, George Wheeler, I'm proud of you too. I'm glad you're proud of me. And I can't wait to see y'all this weekend.
Yeah, that's outstanding. And Mr. White, I want to bring it to you. Show some love to the people that are listening right now because I know they're checking in.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to my mama, Celicia White, and my dad, Tracey White Sr. Appreciate y'all for everything y'all have done for me.
Definitely. Fellas, I want to thank y'all both for being a part of today's show. Thank you for what you have done for Elizabeth City State University, this football program, and being the men that you are. Coach, I see you got characters on this team. I don't know how you handle it week in and week out, but they They bring something new to you. They keep you young. I'll put it that way.
All the time, man. All the time, man. It's so different, man. Even some of the things I say, man, it's derived from them. That's something I do. But these are two great guys, man. And the biggest thing, like I would say, man, these guys will be getting their degrees, if not here this fall, but in the spring. And that's what we do. Despite the wins and losses. That's what you come to school to do, and that's what makes me proud of them, man, and just who they've been, not only on the field but off the field. So grateful to have them a part of the program, and look forward to seeing them cross that stage, man, and I'll definitely be there for that.
That's the main goal right there, but we got a big goal coming up this Saturday. Not only do we want to get a win, but we want you to come out and celebrate these two guys as well as all the seniors over at Roebuck Stadium. We'll talk about this Saturday's game and get you all prepared for the matchup with Bowie State coming up next here on Viking Coaches Show.
Get your tickets for ECSU football games online at ECSUVikings.com.
A hurricane watch is issued when there is a threat of hurricane conditions within a 24 to 36-hour period. During a hurricane watch, listen to a battery-operated radio or television for hurricane progress reports. If there is a hurricane warning, you may be advised to evacuate the area. Check the contents of your emergency supply kit and fill plastic water bottles with 1 gallon of fresh water per person per day. This has been a public service message from FEMA.
From the football field to the radio, this is Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Back here on Viking Coaches Show, and this Saturday, the ECSU Mighty Vikings have another home game. I know it sounds weird. We have another home game over at Roebuck Stadium as we match up with Bowie State coming in 2-6 overall. They're coming off of that 21-56 loss to Virginia Union, and coaches, it's a great opportunity to get some get back against Bowie State. You talked about it before. It's been a pretty long time since they've had their comeuppance, and we got a chance to do it over at Roebuck Stadium.
Yeah, Bowie has been that team, man. If you look at my first year, I think that was the one we
that final, I think, was like the last one at the end of the season.
At the end of the game, they ran it back for a touchdown. So you look at that. Then last year, just losing to those guys was by 5, 12-7, 13-7, something like that. Man, Bowie's just been that team, man. It's hard to get over that hump. And they've been perennial. Just that staff and what Coach Jackson does with that team, man, he's a great coach. So for us just being able to, that'll be one more thing that we're able to turn that corner. Because I'm not sure, I don't have all the last time we beat Bowie, but I'm sure it's been a while. I know it's been at least 3 years. So just being able for us to kind of put it all together, and that's what we talked about as a staff, just seeing if we could play a complete game. And that's what I'm looking for this Saturday, and definitely looking for the challenge to face Bowie State.
With Bowie State coming in here, obviously they have to take the trip, and we're at home. How much of an advantage is that for ECSU? We've been on the road long enough this season to know how it feels to be the visiting team. Now we're the home team. They're coming here. How much of an advantage is that for the team?
Yeah, for us, just being here, having everything accessible to us. When you're on the road, you have to plan for everything, the meals, what could happen if if he leaves this helmet or these shows. Well, we're home. Nobody's leaving anything. And it's a little different. Some advantages to it, though. You have your team, and you're getting away from the campus noise, But different teams for different things. For Bowie, just making that drive, it could be different. But I just like being at home. I like the confines of home and having the home crowd, and you dictate what happens at home. And I think that's the biggest difference.
The big game coming up, CIAA matchup with Bowie State at Roebuck Stadium. The kickoff is set for 1, and obviously it's a great opportunity for ECSU to get a big win in front of the home crowd. We want you out there. You can get your tickets, more information online at ECSUVikings.com. The more people that fill up Roebuck Stadium, the better it's going to be, and it's senior day, and we're celebrating the seniors who have put in so much work to build this program to where it is. Plus, they're getting ready for graduation. That's the big thing, walking across that stage. But we want to celebrate them for what they've done on the field, and you can do that with us this Saturday over at Roebuck Stadium. Coverage of the game here on Your Community Voice will begin right around 12:45 with the pregame, and then we'll bring in the game from start to finish here on WRVS 89.9 as well as on the CIAA Sports Network. Coach, we come to the end of today's show. This is usually the time where I give you the microphone, speak to the Viking faithful, and get them ready for Saturday.
Yeah. Last home game of the season is senior day. Come celebrate not only our football seniors, the band seniors, our team managers, just everybody, man. Come have a great time, and looking forward to seeing everybody and looking forward to getting this win against Bowie.
Yeah, I like what I hear. I tell you what, if you missed out on any parts of today's show, you want to catch up on past shows, just subscribe to the WRVS 89.9 YouTube channel and listen anytime. For Coach Hilliard, I'm Clay Mercer. Coach, thank you so much for making this happen. I'll catch up with you next week after a big win against Bowie.
Appreciate it.